And these 4 weeks, friends, we're calling the season of creation. And if you maybe heard me say today, we are especially celebrating and thinking about how we take care this Sunday of rivers and streams. Now, I wonder, are there any rivers or streams that are part of your lives? Have you ever maybe gone camping by a river, or gone swimming in a river, or seen a river, gone canoeing in a river? Tell me a river story, friends. Okay, Matilda went to a fairy festival with one of her friends, and there's a big river by the festival. And tell me, what is a fairy festival? Okay, cool. Okay, there are stalls that sell things that they think fairies might use, and you can dress up, and that was next to a river. Cool. Anybody else have any stories or thoughts or memories about rivers? Anybody splashed in a river before? Anybody canoed in a river before? No? Friends, we got to get ourselves outside into some river action. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that even if we don't have a lot of river stories up here right now, the Bible is full of stories about rivers. Did you know this? Way back in Genesis, the very first book in the Bible, there is a story about a river that flows out of the Garden of Eden. And that same river we hear about in the very last book of the Bible. And that river flows from God's throne, and it's the water of life. And did you know that there's a story in the Bible about a guy named Jacob who actually has like a wrestling match with God on the banks of the river? Right, there is. I know, Phoebe, it seems a little bit intense, but that's how the story goes, that God and Jacob had a wrestling match on the side of a river, which is, a little different than a fairy festival on the side of a river. I'm not sure which one I would choose if I had an option. You would choose the fairy festival. Yeah, that makes sense. And there is a story about God's people, the Israelites, crossing through the Jordan River to get to what was called the Promised Land, this place that they had been waiting to get to for like 40 long years. There's a story about Jesus in the river getting baptized, just like you all were baptized, and just like Pastor Terry helped you remember your baptism here at the font at the beginning of worship. And so as I send you off with Miss Rebecca and with some of our Generation Grace teenagers today, you are going to have an opportunity to think about how these stories in the Bible about rivers connect with the way that God invites us to take care of rivers and streams in our lives, because we know that things like global warming and climate change and pollution and stuff like that are really impacting our earth in some tough ways right now, aren't they? Yeah. So we're going to take a little bit of time today and then over the next few weeks also to talk about ways that we, God's children, can help take care of the creation that God has blessed us with. So are you ready to do a little bit of that with Miss Rebecca and with some of our teens? Awesome. I think they are. Here's Miss Rebecca. Welcome, welcome.